Some time ago, I made like a video about like sheep farms or whatever, but I figured I can talk a little bit more about. Okay, so the farm that you made, yeah. What you do is that you have wheat or whatever, and then you like breed the sheep and stuff, and then you had like water flowing from like here or whatever, and then uh yeah, water will flush the babies into like this hole or whatever, and then when the sheep grow up, you like kill them and stuff while you still leave the sheep here or whatever, the adult sheep here or whatever, that you can always breed them later or whatever. Yeah, like that works, and that works for getting wool, and additionally, you do get like mutton as well, that you can eat. But what you if you're going to be breeding the sheep here, you would maybe want to consider just having, just doing it the very classic way of just having like a patch of grass. You put a bunch of sheep in, and then you just keep breeding them. Oh, anyways, you would put something around, you know, like a fence, or keep them in this pen or whatever, and then you grab shears, and yeah, you can shear sheep. You keep the sheep alive, and then they can munch on the grass to grow back the wool. Bam, like that. Um, yeah, the farm, when you made it, you put like non-grass blocks underneath, so like you couldn't even really like shear the sheep, because like if you shear the sheep, yeah, sure you get the wool, but because there's no grass block, they will never munch on the grass and like grow back the wool. So then they'll just be naked forever and cold. Yeah. And then but yeah, if you do make, you know, a patch of grass and stuff with with sheep, and then you just use shears on them to pick up wool and stuff, you need a big enough patch of grass. Like if you have too many sheep and not a big enough patch of grass, what ends up happening is that the sheep eat grass faster than grass can spread to other dirt, because the way that dirt becomes grass is that it needs like grass around it so that it can spread and turn into, yeah. See this? See, all the dirt block here is like isolated by only dirt and no grass, so then it never grows back. Um, the fuck, did I not shear every single sheep? I thought that. Anyways, maybe I'm just. Anyways, whatever. Just assume what I just said was true. Um, uh, yeah. So like, if you're comparing the two different these two different farms you can make, this one, if you're gonna be killing sheep and stuff, yeah, you get mutton and stuff, and then this one is probably better for getting more wool, because you just shear the sheep and stuff, and you can keep breeding more. I guess it's like easier. Yeah, so I think this farm here is better for like more wool and stuff. However, although it's more effective, it may not be the most efficient. And by that I mean that this example that I have here is automatic. So like there is an observer block here. Observers detect when um a block, when the space in front changes somehow. So when the grass block changes into a dirt block, it detects it, and then it sends out like an input, like a redstone input, and you can line it up to a dispenser with shears. If you put shears inside, it'll like automatically, you know, when you put the hold on, maybe I did it slightly wrong. Yeah, there you go, bam. Yeah, so it uses the, although it uses its durability, but anyways. Yep. And then you would have like a thing underneath to collect it. But yes, this is automatic, because as soon as the block changes, like when the space in front of the observer changes, it sends out an input, and boom, your sheep gets sheared automatically. So like if like compared to this, like the advantage of this farm is that you can have as many sheep as you want, and then this will give you like a lot more wool. Except the disadvantage is that you have to, you know, go through the process of breeding and shearing the sheep yourself. So this one gives you like a lot more wool. However, this is like completely automatic, and then it's like efficient in the sense that like you're not wasting time or like wasting out on like I guess potential wool or whatever. Like if you're away from the farm and stuff, you know, like this sheep or whatever still has its wool or its coat. What the fuck do you even call it? Fur? And like time that you spend away from the farm not shearing the sheep is in some sense wool being wasted or whatever, if you think about it like that. I mean, technically speaking, this is not like the most maximally most what's it called, efficient way of getting wool, because in the time that your dirt block, your grass block becomes a dirt block, you know, if your sheep wants to eat grass before, like while it is a dirt block, your sheep cannot grow. Wait, what the fuck? How did it even? Wait, let me grab. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that while the stupid sheep, while it's a dirt block and not a grass block, your sheep cannot munch on the dirt to grow its fluff. And I guess a way that you could maximize its efficiency or whatever, although it's like barely much of an improvement, because you know it's grass, the dirt turns to grass fairly quickly anyways, is that, you know, when the observer detects blah blah blah, maybe you would like have a piston lined up or whatever, and I'm not sure how to do it. Like I tried doing it, and I sort of like I didn't do it too well, and it sort of didn't work. But my theory or my idea is that you shuffle the dirt block around or whatever, and when this, you know, when your redstone gets like powered or whatever, it pushes a new grass block underneath the sheep so that there is no downtime or whatever. I guess is a way that you could make it, you could maximize its efficiency. I don't know, like yeah, I tried making it, and like it didn't really work in that way. But anyways, even without the pistons, it's still like, well, definitely more efficient, just like not more effective, because you have like a lot more sheep. You know, it'll definitely beat out, you know, a single sheep, for example. Yeah, yeah. I think that's all really. Um, yeah.